Drive to right, well socked. That ball is going. That ball is gone. It's a brand new ball game. A 2-run home run for George Valera. In the air to right field, hit pretty high, hit pretty deep. That ball is gone. Ryan Lavacina with a walk-off home run. Naylor lines it to right. That wins the championship for the Rubber Ducks. Bo Naylor, the walk-off hit, and Akron takes it home in 2021.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Future Guardians of the Land podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Sleds, and I got another special guest with me this week. He is Cleveland Guardians pitching prospect, Zach Hart. How you doing tonight, Zach?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Appreciate you coming on with me.
Oh, thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
So how's the off season going?
It's good, man. It's going well. Just had Christmas. The whole family is staying healthy and everything like that. So that's definitely a plus right there.
That's good. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah, you too, man. Yeah, you too.
Appreciate it. So you grew up in Connecticut?
It's going well. So.
You grew up in Connecticut?
I did. Yeah, born and raised here.
So when did you start getting into baseball? What age?
Oof. I mean, honestly, ever since I could pick up a baseball, so probably five,
nice.
6 is when I really started. So they kind of just put a baseball in my right hand and said, "Here, just throw this and see how it feels."
There you go. Do you have any other siblings?
I do. I have a little sister.
Yeah.
No, she's a lot of people, we talk about it all the time. A lot of people have the sibling rivalry and all that stuff, but we're like best friends. So.
That's what I was going to ask about. So that's cool.
No, but it's cool because I have because I have the athletic side, and then she plays guitar and sings, and and she's also an incredible student. So she got all the stuff that I didn't get, and so it's two sides to it.
It worked out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you went to Sheehan Wellingford High School in Connecticut. So you won a state championship your senior year in 2015.
I did. Yep.
So from somebody who never even came close to sniffing a state championship in high school, how was that experience?
It was amazing, especially because you're young, you're in high school, and we took baseball pretty seriously, man. I want to say my senior year, I think we, out of the 9 starters, I think 8 of them played in college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we had a good team. I think we ended up being ranked number 1 in the state after we won the state championship. Because obviously there's different divisions and conferences and all that stuff.
Right.
But, it was fun, man. It was amazing being a senior and having kind of my high school career end on that type of note. So that was amazing. I still have pictures in my room framed from that night. So
awesome.
That was really cool.
I did see you have 4 players, including yourself, from your high school now playing pro ball, which is cool.
Yep. Yeah, man. It's funny. It's just it's a baseball town. It's always been like that. It's always been a lot of talent coming through my high school. Before me, there was a lot of guys who a lot of D1 prospects came out of there, and it's continued to be like that even now. So it is really cool to see.
So then you ended up at Franklin Pierce University, which is a Division II school in New Hampshire. How did you end up there? How did the recruiting process go?
It just really started. My junior year came around, and you're kind of visiting different schools, talking to coaches, seeing what these schools have to offer as far as facilities and education and all that stuff. And Franklin Pierce just struck me as one of those schools where you're going to earn everything that is given to you. And Jason King was the coach at the time. He was the guy who recruited me. He seemed like a guy who just he knew what he had to do to succeed, and he was going to do it no matter what. And so that's when I see that in a coach, that's something that I appreciate. So when we sat down and we talked, it just seemed stuff kind of clicked. I stayed with some of the players that night, hung out with them a little bit, talked to them, and everyone is just it's the big feel of the Northeast grinders,
yeah,
it's just how it is there. And I actually love that environment. So this is the spot for me. So
That's really cool. And you did well there. 2018, I think you were 15th in the nation with a 197 ERA, had a career 262 ERA in your 4 seasons. And then that, of course, led to you being drafted by the Cleveland Guardians in the 10th round of the 2019 draft. So how was the whole draft process? Where were you at, and what were you doing at that time?
It was sort of like because obviously my junior year is the year that I kind of blew up like stats wise. All the stats were there. So that's when I kind of started to I discovered my agent. Now he was my advisor at the time. His name is John Shin. That's kind of when I ran into him, and he was kind of just because me and my family, we didn't know, like I didn't know anyone who went through that process. So it was nice to have him there to kind of explain how everything worked. He said, you have this many teams that want maybe want you, and it's going to be this amount of money and all that stuff. So like that was all brand new to me. So having him there was really nice to kind of guide me through that process, starting early, like mid junior year, I think. And then obviously the Cape came around, and that's when it kind of got real. Like I was seeing pro scouts at all those games, and obviously playing with crazy high prospects coming out of college. Like I think when I played with Andrew Vaughn, who was like drafted, I think 3rd overall that year. And so there's a lot of talent there. So you're gonna be around those guys who are also going through that process. So it's nice to talk to them and sort of just get feedback from everyone, see what their experiences are. And then obviously senior year came around. It was more of like a stay healthy and you'll get there type feel to it, which was nice. It was nice to kind of just have a set like plan in mind to get myself to that point. Right. So that's kind of how the senior year felt to me. Like it's kind of just do what I need to do, stay healthy, like stay focused on this ultimate goal, because like it could be a reality, and that's kind of what I did, man. I grinded it out senior year. We ended up winning our conference championship, which was awesome. That was a really nice way to end senior year. So that was cool. And then obviously draft day comes around, and my agent tells me, he's like, yo, you're a senior, so you're not going to be looking at, you're not going to be looking at much money, but he says, I'll do my best to try and get you drafted early. So I was like, cool, let's do that. So he said second day, and a lot of people say, oh, you're going to go on this day or this round. And it never really works out that way.
Right.
But he came through, man. I think it was like obviously 10th round is the very end of the second day.
Yeah.
So I was just, I was with my family all day, kind of just taking my mind off of it, trying not to think about it too much. People say don't watch the draft tracker, that kind of thing, because I'm watching all these dudes that I played with in the Cape. They're just flying off the board, and so that was cool to see. But you can't really think about it. So I think it was like it was very end of the second day, and my phone was about to die, and I was like, whatever, like maybe tomorrow I'll get the call. And I remember I walked upstairs and I plugged my phone in. It was on like 2%. And right when I like sat down, I got a text from John, says, yo, Indians 10th round. And I said, whatever it is, yes, just yes. So and then I walked out of my room, and then it was just like I was like, I saw my mom, I was like, I just got drafted by the Indians. And then it's just, then the mayhem started. So
yeah. That's got to be an awesome feeling for sure.
Yeah, it's it's surreal,
So at what point did you think you had a shot to play pro ball? Was it like high school, college? When did that pop into your head? Like, hey, maybe I got a shot here.
I think it was probably, in high school, like I was, pretty much the same size as I am now in high school. So, and I wasn't throwing as hard as I am, but I was throwing decently hard in high school. So it was like, there are guys that like, they'll look at you, but it was never really like, oh, you're gonna get drafted. Like you don't really think, I didn't really think about that in high school. So,
yeah.
But there were guys that were hanging around. Like I know there were a couple scouts that I would talk to, just through, because I know a lot of people in the area, so like so
Right.
I would just talk to some guys, but nothing really too crazy, no real buzz to it. And I think it was probably, I want to say, probably junior year when is when my college career started to really kind of snowball. Is when I think, like, I just remember being like mid junior year, like during the season, like thinking like I'm like pitching really well right now, and people are starting to like talk in my ear, like yo, you're gonna get drafted, like that kind of type of thing. So like that's kind of when it got real.
Okay.
But up until that point, like it's not something that, because when I'm in college, I'm trying to focus on winning games and being a successful college pitcher. Like because college is all about winning. So that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not trying to think about the draft and in a couple months or a year or however long it's going to be. So that's kind of where my thought process was at. But I'd say probably junior year is when it started to become a reality.
Okay. So you get drafted in 2019. You ended up playing 13 games out in the Arizona League. What was that experience like for your first taste of pro ball?
It was humbling at first. I'm not gonna lie. It's a different environment, man. And it's a lot more freedom, and it's a lot more laid back. So instead of having a college coach in your ears screaming at you, telling you what to do, it's now on you. So that was a little bit of an adjustment I think I had to make. I know my stuff wasn't playing as well when I first got there, so I had to make some adjustments with my fastball, with my slider, all this stuff. And once I kind of figured it out and settled in, that's when it started to feel right. But it's definitely an adjustment after however many games you play in Arizona. It's a different feel, man.
Right. So you get that little taste in 2019, and then 2020 comes, and the pandemic wipes out the minor league season.
Yep.
How tough was that, and what did you do to keep yourself in shape?
It was tough, man. It's because a lot of it was, just a giant question mark. Like it was, for a while it was okay, the season's gonna get delayed for 2 weeks, and it was like a month, and then a couple months, and then canceled. So it's like now you're sitting there and you're like, I'm home. There's no baseball being played anywhere. Like how do I get better? So it was kind of just what I did that summer was mainly I would link up with a bunch of other pro guys that I knew in the area, and we would get together and we would all we would take like live ABs and kind of have like a simulated game with ourselves, which actually was really nice. It was really refreshing midsummer to get some real baseball in. But it was wild at first because obviously they sent us home. I was there for I think a week and a half in Arizona for spring training, and then I was home. So that was super weird. And the funny story was my parents flew out to Arizona to visit me, and the day that they got there, and they rented a house, like they were staying for a week. Mm-hmm. And the day they got there is the day I got sent home.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so it was like, perfect time. Like,
right.
So now it's like March, I'm home by myself, like kind of just like sitting, like chilling with my dog. Like, okay, like what do we do now? And my parents are out in Arizona, like vacationing, like having a great time. So I was like, oh, hope you guys enjoy it, man. I'll be here, I guess.
Right. That's funny.
So yeah, it messed up a lot of things, man.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. So you got through that, and then this past season, 2021, had your first full year for Low A Lynchburg. Pitched 30 games, put up some pretty good numbers, 8-2 with a 3.35 ERA, 12.5 K per 9 inning ratio, which is very good.
Thank you.
What was the biggest adjustment going from the Arizona League up to Low A ball?
I think it was mainly just play off of your, like, my own strengths. So I remember this past winter, like leading into spring training, there was a lot of like unknown, like as to what was going to happen, because this is the first time we were trying to get something going since COVID, and we weren't sure like if it was going to last, like all that stuff. So basically it was like, I need to show up to spring training like in the best shape possible. Like I don't care if if I'm in Arizona and I feel like I'm in mid-season form, because I'm 24 now, and my first full spring training was this past summer. So it was kind of like I need to show up ready to go. So that's kind of what the goal I had in mind was to make sure that I'm not falling behind the pack at all.
Right.
So, and then I had developed a new curveball. I had developed a knuckle curve in the winter, which definitely helped. I mean, that it's the difference between that and the other curveball was absurd. So it's basically just like preparing, like, just making sure that I'm like, I was the best like version of myself going into Arizona. And then, so that worked out nice. Like I pitched well in Arizona, I gained some confidence, and it kind of just like, snowballed into the season. And from there, just kind of keeping it going,
Okay. So you've started 42 out of 110 games you've pitched. Do you have a preference, bullpen, starter? Any particular one you like better?
Not really, honestly. Like I do like being a pen guy. Being a pen guy is fun because it's more of like okay, like you're going in the game, like get ready, get into your mental state of mind that you need to be pitching, and then just go and then you get the job done, which I like that kind of feel to it, because it doesn't let you sit there and kind of like think about, oh, I'm starting today. What if I don't do well? Then I'm not going to be able to start for the next, 6-7 days. And,
right.
What if this, what if that? Like, I don't like thinking about it. I kind of just like to just do it. That's when I'm at my best, when I just don't think, just do. So that's kind of what I like coming out of the pen. But it's hard to have a preference because I've done both, and I try to be as as flexible as possible.
Right.
Due to what whatever the team needs, because obviously you're into injuries, and some guys can't pitch certain days. So I try to be like just be like versatile, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. So have you set any personal goals for this coming 2022 season?
I would like to break camp in Akron. I think that's a realistic goal in my mind. As far as that goes, I think it's just keep this momentum. I had obviously had like a good year in my eyes. I think there was a lot of stuff I could improve on. Just because that's, I'm not gonna look at a season like that and think that, oh, that's it. So there's definitely stuff I can improve on. So that's the stuff I'm gonna work on now, and then kind of just keep the momentum going, keep it going, because I'm gonna be 25 in May, and I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose a step. I don't want to be behind the pack at all.
Right.
So it's kind of just I don't have any time to lose. I want to get there, and I want to get there as fast as possible, and I want to be the best version of myself as fast as possible. So that's the goal I have in mind.
Right. And that's where losing that 2020 season really hurts too.
Right. And granted, who knows what would have happened that season,
Right.
But looking back on it right now, I mean, it's hard for me to say I would go back and change it,
Okay. All right. So before we get into our final getting to know your guardian segment, wanted to talk about one of your teammates who unfortunately tragically passed away in December or mid-December, Andres Melendez. He was obviously the catcher for the Lynchburg Hillcats last year, so I'm sure caught a lot of your games. I unfortunately never got the chance to interact with him at all, besides him, liking a couple highlight videos I posted him last year. But from all I've heard, he was a great guy and a great teammate. So what can you tell us about Andre?
I mean, I honestly have nothing but great things to say about the kid. He carried himself so well. He was a genuine person. Like he walked into a room and he always had the biggest smile on his face, no matter what. He would just be friendly. He was friendly. He was outgoing, and he was just the type of kid that you like loved to have on your team, because A, he was a great guy, and B, he was a great teammate, and C, he was a great like player. And the pitcher catcher relationship obviously is a little bit different than I think most like other relationships in sports, because we have to be on the same page, or else it's not going to work. So that he made sure that we were always on the same page, and it was never Like it was never like any like bad energy or nothing. It was always positive energy. Like always had a smile, and he played with a passion. And the thing that kills me the most about this whole situation is he was a guy that I was looking forward to playing with on like future teams.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was one of, if not my favorite catcher to throw to since I've been in pro ball, and like, I can't even tell you how many times this past season, the guy would get on first and he would just throw him out second. Like I had multiple like outings where I would just have to get 2 outs, and a guy gets a base hit where I walk a guy and he just throws him out. And I'm like, that's just a team guy, So I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but
right.
He was just a genuine guy. One thing I will say is that I've been obviously talking to my teammates about the whole situation, and the best thing that I heard so far was I was talking to Trey Benton, and it was funny because he had his whole thing this year, and whenever, like, obviously when you're on the mound you get a little bit out of your head sometimes, out of sorts. And Andres would come out and talk to you, and one of the ways he would kind of just get you back to like refocus is you'd be like, all right, like you go through the signs, like 1 fastball, 2 curveball, and sign 5 is I love you, Poppy. And like it's just like, like he's just no one else does that, and you can't really teach that. You can't ask for a better teammate. Right. I really couldn't, and it's incredibly tragic. He was much too young, and this type of situation kind of just makes you appreciate life a little more,
Yeah, 20 years old. That's crazy. But my condolences to you and all of his teammates and his family. It definitely a tragic situation there.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate you talking about it, though.
No, yeah, it's quite all right, man. Here's the thing: I have nothing but great things to say about the kid. So
right, and that's all I've heard and seen is nothing but great things about him. So that right. tells you a lot about Andres Melendez, the person, for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
All right. So for our final segment, we've got 10 questions to ask you. It's getting to know your guardian. There's some fun ones in here. So I'll throw them at you, and can answer them to the best of your ability.
All right. I'm going to prepare myself for this.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
Fire away.
All right. So if you had to play another sport professionally besides baseball, what would it be?
Ooh, I'm a big football guy. Diehard Pats fan, New England guy. So I just love watching football. I love just the sport itself. It's always been awesome to me. And obviously RIP John Madden too. That's an absolute legend that we just lost. But definitely football. Love it. Love watching Tom Brady growing up. That's my guy. So that's where that passion kind of comes from.
You're a pretty big guy. Did you play in high school?
Yeah, for a couple of years, and then once baseball started to get a little bit bigger for me, I was like, all right, I don't want to risk anything,
Understandable. So if you couldn't play professional sports, what occupation would you desire?
Occupation. Oh God. I mean, I went to school for sports and rec management, so I mean, does a coach count? Can I say coach?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a profession.
I mean, yeah, like that's because I work with obviously I give lessons in the off season and stuff like that. So that's an environment that I kind of just feel comfortable in. So I think like being a pitching coach maybe at the high school or college level is something that I would be able to do pretty well. I know it's kind of a cop out answer, but
no, it's good. It's good. What's your favorite game day meal?
Game day meal. Honestly, I just had it today. Chipotle is very close to my heart.
There you go.
And I would eat it every day if I could. So definitely Chipotle.
Sound like my daughter.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an everyday thing. It's a Chipotle and then a Diet Coke.
Well, this might answer the next question. And what's your favorite takeout? I would assume takeout? Chipotle.
Yeah. I mean, we also have a restaurant here called Pancheros. I don't know if I know it's not everywhere. It is a chain, but it's not like too many of those. Mm-hmm. I'm there all the time too. So it's like, if I'm not going to Chipotle, I'm going to Pancheros and I'm getting the biggest burrito I can order.
What's your favorite music genre and favorite group or solo artist?
Favorite music genre? Oh boy, I love music, and I love all genres of music pretty much. So it's hard to choose one, but I'd probably say like rock, like alternative. I love
Okay.
alternative music. Um, my most listened to artist this past, because obviously you have like the 2021, like the recap of like who you listen to if with Spotify and Apple Music,
Yeah.
and my most listened to band was Grateful Dead. So
Oh, was it really?
yeah, I'm a Deadhead, so that's they're near and dear to my heart for sure.
What is your favorite all-time movie?
All time movie? Oh God, probably. I mean, my answer has always been Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's, I mean, it's
Okay.
Robin Williams, Matt Damon. They absolutely kill it in that movie. It's hard not to say that, because that's since forever. That's my favorite movie.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that one for sure.
Yeah, it's also it might be a little cop out answer.
That's all
like
right. Who was your favorite pro athlete growing up? No matter what sport, just
Derek Jeter by far.
yeah.
He was just an inspiration, just obviously how he played the game, because he was a great player, but as a person, humble. You never saw like any drama with him. Like, he just carried himself well. He was the captain. I grew up a Yankees fan, so
Okay.
he was the captain, and he was just my guy. He was like my parents. They used to tell me, I don't remember doing this, but they used to tell me when I was like 6 or 7 years old, I would walk around the house with like my baseball glove, and I'd just be like pounding it, and it'd just be like Derek Jeter, Derek Jeter. I'd just be like saying his name for whatever reason. But that was my guy growing up.
That's cool. So, what is your biggest fear or phobia?
Phobia. Well, my biggest fear is definitely I'd say, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of heights. Heights kind of freak me out. Like,
Yeah, same here.
yeah, definitely drowning too. Like
Yeah.
like deep, like ocean. Does that make sense? Like,
No,
like
yeah, I'm the same
ocean.
way.
I love the ocean, but like the like deep ocean, like that
Yeah.
stuff's a little freaky, man. We don't know what's down there. I'm a firm believer that we don't know everything that's in our oceans.
Right. Who is your biggest celebrity crush?
Oh God. um Margot Robbie is she does it for me, man.
There you go. Good choice.
That's all I'll say about that.
All right. So, what do you want to tell fans about what to expect from Zach Hart in 2022?
In 2022, honestly, just I'm gonna come out, and this may sound kind of stupid, but I'm gonna be like a dog. Like, I'm gonna be a guy that are, whatever team I'm on can look to either eat up innings and always get the job done. That's the guy that I always wanted to be. That's the guy I try and like pride myself to be.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of like, the position that I kind of fell into with Lynchburg. It was like, if we needed innings eaten up, or like a spot start, or or like come off short rest, like I want to be that guy. Like, I want to be the guy that pitches on 1 day rest after throwing 2 or 3 innings and still is able to get the job done. I think that's like, there's pride in that, and that's something that I want to be, and that's kind of what I want to be, like, base my career off of. So 100%, I'm whatever team I go to after spring training, I'm gonna try my best to be that guy.
That's a good answer. And I'm hoping you're out in Akron, because I'm only about 20 minutes away. So I'll definitely come out and see a pitch for sure.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. Hey, that's the goal. So,
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy life to come on with me and talk
trust
it
me,
up
I'm
a
not
little bit. Well, I appreciate it, and good luck this season. Stay in touch. I'd like to have you on again sometime.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you asked some great questions. So this is definitely a pleasure.
All right, appreciate it, and wish you a happy new year.
Happy New Year, man. Definitely stay safe.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And we will talk to everybody next Thursday.